Hello everyone, my name is Lawrence and thank you so much for watching my channel, a channel that talks about investing in the stock market and also talks about financial independence. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing such that you don't miss other videos like this. Under current situations, the stock market continues to decline. And what does this mean to investors? I can say in short term, to a short-term investor, this is very bad news because they are losing a lot of money. But to a long-term investor like myself, this is very good news. Which way is it a good news? I can say that at the moment, if you follow stock market, very many companies have declined, and this presents a very golden opportunity for long-term investors to buy very fundamentally strong companies at a discounted price. And today I'm going to be discussing about one of the best banks in East Africa that has declined, and I think it may present a very good buying opportunity to prospective investors. And also, if you're an investor, it's very good to look at it in terms of its figures and also performance if you want to invest in it. Actually, before I discuss about this bank, this is a disclaimer. This video is not a recommendation in any way because I'm not financial or investment advisor. So if you're going to buy or invest in any company, please, I recommend that you do your own thorough research so that you make an informed decision before investing. So let us begin. I'm going to be talking about three sections when I'm describing or talking about Equity Bank. Number one section is I'm going to be doing a brief introduction of Equity Bank, what it does, what business, and how it has performed over time. Second, I'm going to be looking at the figures by dissecting its finances, its assets, and also look at its debt position. And three and final one is I'm going to be concluding by giving my positives and negatives of investing in Equity Bank if you're planning to invest in Equity Bank. So let us begin. From the simple introduction of Equity Bank. Equity Bank is a financial services provider which is headquartered in Kenya, and its parent company is Equity Holdings Limited, which actually is headquartered in Kenya, and it actually has different products it offers, ranging from mortgages, credit cards, debit cards, and also, as I told you before, insurance, and also it's a stockbroker. So if you're planning to invest in the stock market, you can also consider talking to them for your investments. It also actually has many banks within East Africa. So it actually has 7 banks within East Africa. It has Equity Bank Rwanda, Equity Bank Southern Sudan, Equity Bank Tanzania, Equity Bank Uganda, Equity Bank Congo. So it has actually 7 branches. As you maybe if you're following stock market, you might know that Stanbic Bank was planning to buy other banks, but because of this current situation, it cancelled. It wanted to buy some banks from Malawi, Zambia, but it did not materialize because of financial constraints. So those are the banks that it has, and this one is very good when it comes to diversification because maybe one issue somewhere can be covered by winning somewhere. So that's the good thing. If you're planning to invest, you should know it has 7 branches within East Africa. So when we go to its finance, let's start by actually analyzing its financial position. by starting with the simple thing, which is looking at the sum few ratios. The previous close by the time I was recording this video, it was 32.72, and its EPS, the last EPS was 5.7. Dividend yield, currently there's no dividend yield because they had announced 2.5, but unfortunately they cancelled it. So if you're a dividend investor, you should also be considering to, it's not a good thing. So if you're a dividend investor like me, I have to wait until next year, maybe, when they will announce, because you never know, they may not even pay next year. So that's something also to consider if you're planning to invest in Equity Bank. When you go to its PE ratio, it's very good because the average PE ratio for the banking industry in Kenya, it's between 8, so it's a very good thing. So let's go to assets, to its assets. Now we check. When you go to its assets, if you can see from 2016, it has been increasing on uptrend from 47 billion. Actually it's 447 billion since 2016 up to 673 billion as of 2019, which is very positive thing if you're planning to invest in Equity Bank. So when you go to another point to note, when you're counting when you're analyzing on balance sheet, another thing to note is about debt. So let's check the debt. The most important thing, they don't have the current liabilities or current debt, which is good, but they have a long-term debt. Since 2016, the debt has been on uptrend, which is not a positive sign. So, and something to note about here is, see, from 2018 to 2019, you can check here, there is not a good sign, because you can see the long-term debt has increased from 33 billion to 56 billion Kenyan shillings, almost an increase of almost more than 40%, which is very important item you should note if you're an investor, because debt, it limits growth because of the interest payment. So it's also a very important thing to note. So let's go to also equity, which is another important point to note if you're considering to invest. So equity has increased since 2016 from 81 billion Kenyan shillings to 110 billion. It's also, which is on positive note, which is a positive thing. So when you go to the shares outstanding, it's been consistent, which is good, because some companies, they grow in assets, but they also grow in shares, which is not good. But for equity, you can see it has maintained its share outstanding, which is also a positive sign. So let's go to its financial statement. We see what it has to offer to us. So its income statement. Let's start by checking the net income. So you can see from 2016, it only declined once, 2017. Because of I think elections. 2017 there was an election which was not good, and the financial sector was affected because of conflicts resulting from the elections. But if you can see, the net income has been good. The interest income also. The interest income actually is the income that the bank gets from interest. So maybe it is loaning people, it is loaning other banks, so that money that it gets from it also has been increasing, which is good. Loan, another important item on financial statement that you should check is loan loss prevention. What does loan loss prevention? Actually, this one is like if you loan someone money, so that is the rate at which the person returns or not does, or he defaults. So from 2016, the loan loss prevention has not been bad, but as of 2019 it doubled. Everyone actually might know the reason why it doubled. It's because of this financial crisis. I mean, because of this pandemic. Because of this pandemic, many people are not able to pay. So this is also a big point to note. Almost actually every bank has doubled its loan loss prevention. This is not a good sign, but because of this situation, also the share price has declined from 52 to 33 as I record this video. So I believe it has been factored in due to decline of its share price. So another important item we should consider when you're analyzing the balance, the income statement of a company is its earnings or earnings per share. So from 2016 you can see the earnings per share has been on the uptrend, which is a very good sign. So, but also dividend, as a dividend investor, I can see it's not been very good because it has consistently maintained 2 Kenyan shillings per share. And as I said before, this year they are not paying. They cancelled the payment because of the conditions we are in. So basically that is the analysis of its financial statement. So let's go on my view of what I have to say about the statement. From the simple introduction and analysis of the bank, I have withdrawn 3 positives and 3 negatives to those people who are looking at buying Equity Bank. So number 1 positive is Equity Bank is one of the most innovative companies in East Africa. If you remember, or if you follow this bank, you may remember that it is one that introduced agents banking in East Africa, where you can go actually to any agent who is registered with Equity Bank to provide financial services on its behalf. Without going to the bank, you can get money as long as you're near to the agent. That is one. And actually recently most of other banks have copied their idea, and also they are doing agents banking. If you remember also, if you live in Kenya, you may remember also it has Equitel, a service that is provided to the Equity customers that provides cheap transferring option to the Equity customers. So that is one advantage of looking at Equity Bank as a potential buy. Second point, and the most important, is if you look at its earnings, if you look at its assets and loans, it has been consistently on an uptrend for the past 5 years and over, which is a very good track record to look at it if you are a prospective investor in any company. Third point to note is Equity Bank is almost in every country in East Africa apart from Burundi. It's in Sudan, it is in Congo, it is in Rwanda, it is in Tanzania, it is in Uganda. It has 7 countries in which it is operating. This is a very good thing because for example, if Uganda is not doing fine, they can make money from Tanzania or the rest of the country. So diversification is also very important. Also, another part of diversification is now actually recently it introduced the insurance business. So it will be doing an insurance business, and also its broker. So if you're also considering to invest and you're new in investing, you can consider choosing Equity Bank as your broker. So those are the three things that I looked at to give it a plus, or when you're considering to invest in Equity Bank, those are the three things that I see which are very, very good. So what are the negative side of Equity Bank? If you looked at the figures that I discussed, this is something that is strikingly very, very important. That is its position when it comes to debt. Its debt to equity ratio is 45%. So it means almost half of its equity is in debt. And since last year up to now, as I record this video, its debt has increased by over 40%, which is very, very worrying. And I believe it may continue to take debts because of this situation. Another negative part of it as a dividend investor is, if you're following the trends in East Africa, or if you're following stocks, you may know that Equity Bank actually did not announce dividends this year. Actually, they cancelled. They had announced that they would be paying 2.5 Kenyan shillings, but they cancelled, citing the current situation. So this one is worrying because we are not sure whether even the next financial year they will be paying dividends. So personally, as a dividend investor, I'm not convinced that I will invest in Equity Bank. But if you are a capital appreciation person, it presents a very good opportunity because, as I said, it has declined from 52 Kenyan shillings to 33 Kenyan shillings, which presents an opportunity of over 36% if invest. Because I can assure you, if the conditions settles and they get back to normal, Equity Bank, I can tell you, it will bounce back with no doubt. So those were my opinion about Equity Bank. So what is my conclusion? My conclusion is Equity Bank is fairly valued, and if you're considering to take a position in it, I believe you can start from this. The more it goes down, the more you would want to take more position. But personally, I am not investing in Equity Bank because there are other opportunities that are better than this. For example, KCB Bank or Cooperative Bank, personally, I believe they present a better opportunity compared to Equity Bank. But Equity Bank is very, very good company to look at it. That was my view. Let me hear your view, and also if you have anything, if you know of any company that you want me to discuss about, let me know by commenting down in the comments section. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing such that you don't miss out on other videos. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.